enjoy. Tonight, in the studio with me is Mr. Joe Nabors. And, hon, if you've lived in Tippah County long, hon, you've seen Joe Nabors. Now, I tell you, everybody knows Joe Nabors. Joe, we're glad to have you here.
Well, thank you.
Welcome to Darryl's Little Corner.
Thank you.
And you've been in Tippah County a long time, haven't you?
Quite a while, about 92 years.
92 years. I bet that's a while.
Yeah.
That's a while.
Yeah.
But it just
Yeah.
stopped.
January the 20th, I'll be 93.
93, isn't that something?
Still able to get around.
Well, I'll tell you what, I remember
own.
when your wife told me, said he's 90 years old and he don't even take a pill. She just so
Right, I
outrageous.
take very little medicine.
She used to tell me, she'd say, he don't even take a pill.
Yeah.
She said, I have to take all this old junk and he don't have to take nothing.
Yeah.
I tell you, you've just been blessed with good health, haven't you?
Well, I sure have.
Now that's
It's
God's
been
blessing.
wonderful, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But as I say, you were
Not
married.
not really ever a major operation.
Just blessed with good health.
With good health.
Now
yeah.
that's blessed. That is blessed. Well, let's start out when you were young. Where'd you go to school?
Dumas. I was born and raised at Dumas.
At Dumas.
Yes.
Well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they, I mean, is that like Pine Grove, or do
Yes,
they have
yes. Yeah,
at
that's,
Pine Grove?
yeah. Yeah, it's near Pine Grove, 3 miles apart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I believe, yeah. And they had high schools there.
Well, how'd you
Same.
get to school?
I had to walk first 3 years I went.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I had to walk to school. We lived a little over a mile from the schoolhouse, and if you lived within a mile, you could. They didn't pick you up.
Oh.
So they changed that after a few years. And went ahead and picked us up. I lived at the same place down there about 15 years, same house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, these folks that they picked them in, was it a wagon or would they
Oh,
pick 'em
wagon,
up in?
yeah.
A wagon.
One man had a truck that he put a bed on each fall, and when the school season came along.
Oh,
Yeah.
I bet it was a big thing to get to ride in that truck. wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, yes.
I bet it was.
Yeah.
Because there really
But,
wasn't a whole lot of them around, was it?
No, very few. There were very few vehicles in Dumas at that time.
Ooh, wouldn't you
Not
hate
more
that?
than 6 or 8. I would say 6 or 8 was at the most at that time.
Oh, like imagining mules going up. I was thinking about Dumas Road, the steep hills,
Oh, yes, it was.
Mules having to pull a wagon up them
That's
steep
right.
hills.
It was quite. It was quite a job.
I bet it was. I bet it was. Ooh. And you graduated from Pine Grove?
No, I graduated. I finished 11th grade at Dumas, and I came to Ripley 1 year.
Oh,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
finished at Ripley.
I finished at Ripley. The Dumas didn't know where they were going to have 12th grade credit that year or not.
Oh.
So I come.
Well, did you move to Ripley then, or
No, I
did you
stayed with my uncle.
Stayed
One of
with
my
your
uncles. Yeah,
stay with your uncle?
yeah.
Where you be sure and get credit for you? That makes sense.
Yes.
That makes sense.
So I finished in 1937.
37.
Yes, May.
Oh, how many were in your class? Do you know?
26.
26. Big class.
Yeah. 13 boys and 13 girls.
Isn't that something?
Yes.
Oh,
Only about 5 of us living now.
well, while you're on TV, you want to say hello to them.
Well, yes, if they're looking,
Yes,
I want
absolutely.
to say hello to all of them.
Absolutely. Because you've been living around them all your life, haven't you?
Yes, yes.
Isn't that something? And you married young? Were you young when you
No,
married?
I was 22.
22.
Yeah.
And you have children?
I have 3 children. Yeah,
You have 3.
yes.
Well,
2
you got
boys
2.
and 1 girl.
Well,
Yeah.
how old are they?
Well, one was born in 52, one in 56, and one in 59.
Oh, really?
So they're all,
Grown.
yeah, grown, yeah.
Well, isn't
Above
your
50.
girl something with the school?
Yeah, my daughter was librarian at Ripley High School.
At the high
Yeah.
school? I knew it was something
Yeah.
about the school that your daughter did.
Yeah,
You know, that's wonderful.
yes. And my
You're just
son
blessed.
my son is over at Northeast College, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What does he do over there?
He's executive vice president.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
And the other boy lives with me, and he works at Ashley.
that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. You're just blessed.
They've all got a
Blessed.
job right now.
Oh, that is blessed.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, it is. Well, you know, I wasn't around here at that time, but I reckon I'm getting, since I got this program, I'm prone to listen to gossip.
Yeah. Well,
Never did before, but all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute, let me write that down. I don't, if they tell me something, I don't want to forget it.
Yeah.
I heard you were sheriff one time.
Yes, I was sheriff 52 to 55. Yeah.
A little bird
I
told
was
me that.
33 at the time.
33.
Yeah.
Well, tell me, back when you were, you know, things change, and now they've got GPS on their car, their computers, and they got stuff. I don't know what they are. They got stuff. Back in them days, you didn't have all that stuff because they didn't make it, you know.
Yeah.
They had a radio going back and forth, didn't they?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we had the radio. Yeah. But television just came in along about that time. First one I bought was 53, I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
And there wasn't a lot of them in the country at that time.
there wasn't a lot of electronics, right?
No.
Uh-uh. But,
Yeah.
but what I was wondering, like now, they got this thing that just reads your fingerprints and stuff.
Oh, yes.
And back then, did they not ink it down and?
Oh, yes. You had to take their finger and roll it and on the.
Well, could you really tell much by it?
Oh, yes. It made a very good print if you
Oh,
did
really?
it right. Yes. Well, we didn't have a lot of that back in those days. It wasn't near so much crime then.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Right.
That's before drugs and all that came
Yeah, I
in.
know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we never heard of marijuana hardly
No,
that time.
no.
Oh, yeah.
I know I was young then, and we
Yeah.
didn't hear
The only
about.
trouble we had in that line was just whiskey and beer. Yeah.
You find the
That was
bootlegger.
all, yeah.
Find the
It was-
bootlegger,
had
yeah.
bootleggers, and that was about the extent of crime
Yeah,
going on.
checking the.
And
Well, most of
but
the time, if
we
they
had
found somebody drunk,
no
they take 'em
robberies
home.
and no robberies and stuff like that happened back during my term there.
Really?
Yeah,
Isn't that great?
yeah.
Not at all.
No,
Isn't that
I don't
fantastic?
remember a robbery happened.
Isn't that fantastic?
We had a little theft along, but
Well, I remember several years ago, if somebody had drank too much, they'd just take them home. Yeah.
well, yes, in some cases there it did happen. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if that's not a better thing. I don't know. I don't see where it helps to lock them up, and I just don't see where it helps anything.
Well, you
Because then
just-
they get out and they owe all
Yeah.
that money and they get drunk again. I don't
A
see
few
it.
of those have become a little loud and so forth around the crowd, but I usually carried them in and
Yeah, if they're
let them
rowdy.
sober up.
Rowdy.
But Monday morning come, if they get a little bond signed, sometimes if it's, we knew them real well, we just turn them loose and tell them to come back to court.
Yeah.
Certain day.
Yeah, they'd show up.
Yeah, they'd show up.
But that was a different
Yeah.
day and age than
Yeah.
now. And you know, I've noticed now a lot of things that back then, they just like Halloween pranks and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Right.
They was just kids having fun, and we'd all
Yeah.
shoo them off, you know, get rid of them when we tear your
Yeah.
stuff up. But we didn't call the law.
No, that's right.
People are telephone prone now. I mean, every little thing, it's against the law now. Everything's against the law. Things that you know, back in that day, you know, they just considered part of mischievous young men.
Yeah,
you know.
that's right.
Oh, I know.
Oh, I had one customer there I used to, if it was uptown there, if I was looking for another one. Why, I'd just tell him going down to jail and sit down and wait till I got there and I locked him up. And he usually would go.
Just go down there and see it.
Yeah. That didn't happen often, of course.
Well, but that
Yeah.
makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
but back in those days, you know, it was a different day.
Yeah.
Now you tell somebody that, and they'd laugh all the way out of town.
Oh, Lord, they'd
Yeah.
be gone. They'd be gone in the backwoods somewhere.
And you didn't have all these high-speed chases and
No,
stuff like
very
that.
few of those. Yeah, very few.
Well, if somebody was really doing something, you knew where they lived anyway.
Oh, yeah. Everybody knew where everybody lived.
Mm-hmm.
That
But you
wasn't
know,
any
it's-
big problem.
It's so strange how, you know, over the couple of generations,
Yeah.
things have changed so very much. And it just, to me, that was kind of like Leave It to Beaver days.
Yes.
You know, I watched
Well,
Leave It to
they just didn't have anywhere to go, anywhere else to go there. They either go home or,
That's right, that's right. And really, they didn't have anything to go in, did they?
no, that's right.
That was a plus.
Yeah,
That was a plus. And like I say, they weren't out stealing. And,
Yeah.
you know, when I read the paper, a lot of that crime relates to drugs.
Oh,
And we
yeah.
didn't have any.
no,
You know.
we didn't have, yeah, all we had there was just intoxicated with whiskey.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. About the, I don't remember any drug case we ever
Uh-huh.
had.
You just had to keep these, you
Yeah.
know, calm down.
Yeah.
That's right, sober them up.
Yeah,
But now these drugs do terrible things
Yeah.
to our children. It's
yes,
terrible,
that's
terrible.
bad.
Yeah, it's terrible what this drug, and what it's
Yeah.
doing to our generation. It's terrible,
Yes.
terrible. But things change, and it's a different world now.
Oh, yes.
Different world.
Yeah.
But the children are the ones that suffer for it.
Yeah.
They truly
Right.
are.
Well, then, it was 1937 when I come to Ripley to work, first Monday in July.
Really?
And I went to work for Renfro's Cafe.
You did?
Yeah.
Well. Mm-hmm. What'd you do for Renfro?
I washed dishes and cooked hamburgers, waited on the tables. Yeah.
Well, that got
I just
you
wait.
started. Got
Yeah.
you in town. Got you
Yeah, I
started.
did that about a year and a half, a little more. Yeah.
And that got you foot in the door.
Yes, that's
And then
right.
what'd you do?
Well, I run a service station for about 6 months there. And wasn't doing a whole lot of good in that, so I sold it and went to work for a fellow in the store, a dry goods store, or general merchandise. It was out at Dumas there. I went back out there and worked 3 months,
Uh-huh.
then came back to Ripley.
Do you remember
And
the
I
name
worked-
of the store?
Yeah, Gillard store at Dumas,
Gillard?
yes. And
Now,
I
I never heard of it. I just
Yeah.
had you to mention it in case somebody
Yeah.
else remembered.
And when I came back to Ripley, I went to work at Tate's Drug Store.
Now, I've heard of that. That's before my time,
It was
but I've
on
heard
the
of it.
west side of the square.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Now, I've heard of it, but
Yeah.
it's before my time.
And then I went to work, I worked there about 5 or 6 months, and I went to work for M.L. Finger and Son, dry goods.
Now, I
Sure.
remember Fingers.
Yes,
Yeah.
they
Yeah, I
were in
remember
business
Fingers.
about 75 years.
Oh, I think forever. Yeah.
Yeah, long time. Yeah.
But I didn't know that you worked in stores.
Yes, I worked there till I went to the Army.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, tell me about the Army.
Well, I went to November the 4th, 1942, I went to Air Corps. Yeah. And I was there 3 years, 3 months, and 17 days.
Well, did you see combat?
No.
Oh,
never.
blessed,
I
blessed,
I
blessed.
was never overseas.
Blessed, blessed,
Yes,
blessed.
I was blessed there. Furthest I got from home was Mobile, Alabama.
That's good.
And I spent the other 3 years at Jackson, Mississippi.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Just didn't get sent out.
Just didn't get sent out.
Blessed, blessed, blessed.
Well, I had an accident. I broke a leg, and they couldn't get it going good. They thought it never would be able to. They just have to walk on a stiff foot, but a stiff leg. But it finally broke loose. I made it very good on it. For
92 years, yeah, you've done
up
good.
to 92 years
Done
old
good.
now.
Yes, done good.
And I hope it don't give me a lot of trouble in the future.
Well, if it's made it this far, it probably won't.
Yeah.
Now, most likely won't. That's pretty neat.
I try to take care of it. Yeah.
But then when you came out of the Army, what'd you do?
I went in the wholesale candy business. Yeah. I ran a candy route. Yeah, for about 4 years.
Well, did you make good at that?
Yes, very good. Yeah.
You talk about these little things on the stand in the stores?
Oh, yes, sir.
Or
Well,
delivered to
I
the
sold box candy in all kinds. Yeah.
Ah.
Some of it in jars, but most of them had a candy counter, box to put it in. Yeah.
Well, I
Showcase.
remember when they used to sell these little penny cookies. They were
Oh,
penny
yes.
a piece, and they'd be in a big old clear glass jar.
Oh, yes.
And they would just reach in there and get you a cookie. Of course,
Yeah.
you don't reach and touch nobody's stuff these days.
No.
Back in them days, we weren't too germified.
No, they didn't bother that too much.
No, we all drank out of a dipper, and,
Yeah,
we weren't
that's
too
right.
germified. I won't hardly eat off of a steam bar that everybody, or self-service
Yeah.
anymore. But, we all drank out of the dipper. I mean,
Oh, yes.
we've got old and germified, I think.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's right.
Oh, me. But, yeah, they had just a big, it was like a square jug, and cookies were a penny a piece, and they'd just reach in there and get you one.
Oh, yeah.
Penny a piece. And,
Candy bars were a nickel.
they won't pay the tax now.
That wasn't right. Don't pay the tax now.
But you delivered to the stores.
Yes. I worked tipper and part of Prentice and part of Benton. Worked 3 counties there.
And then,
Country stores and all.
And then after that, what did you do?
Well, I got elected sheriff in '52. I done that from '47 to '51, and then I elected sheriff in '52, and I finished that '55, and then I went to used car business.
Tate told me you had a car lot.
Yeah,
Hey, so Darryl, you don't know what this man's doing.
I kept a license for about 32 years.
You did?
Yes. I stayed in the car business till about '88, and then I went in the tire business.
Now I remember
New
that.
and used tires.
Now, when I moved to Tippah County,
yeah.
you had that used tire place. We used to
Yes.
come buy tires.
And yeah, I run that about 12 years there. I retired in '97.
You did well with the
yes.
tire business. Very well.
Yeah, I was very busy. Yeah.
You sure did. You did very well with the tire business. Sure did. And
Me and my wife built and moved 9 times.
9 times.
Yes, we built our first house about 53, 52. The year I was elected sheriff. We built our first house, and we sold and moved 9 more times
Oh, man.
while she was still living.
Oh, I just hate to move.
And she died in '88.
In '88.
Yeah.
And she was hairdresser, wasn't she?
Yes, she ran a beauty shop. Yeah, that's the only job she ever had. Was running
I
a beauty
think
shop.
back then, did they not have them with them things that attached to your head from a machine?
Oh,
and
yes,
clamped on
oh,
the-
yes, yeah, all that, when to give a permanent.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
one
oh,
time.
yeah.
I had never done that,
Yeah,
but I've seen
had
them.
to roll the hair on a little gadget.
It's just
Yeah.
amazing, and, it's
Oh,
amazing
yes.
how things
Oh,
have
she
changed.
did that for years and years. That's the only job she ever had, and she went to work in 1936 doing that.
Well, back then, they wasn't very many of them, was it?
Not as many as there is now.
There
No,
wasn't very many
no.
hairdressers.
There was only about 3 shops in town at that
Yeah.
time, I guess.
Well,
Maybe 4.
I guess really didn't a lot of people have the money to go have it done either.
Well, that's true. But right on the other hand, they were giving permits for $5 and $7 back in
Yeah,
those days.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I can remember when people would take like Prince Albert tobacco used to come in these little flat cans,
oh,
and they'd
yes,
cut it
little
in
red
strips. Yeah, and then they'd cover it with brown paper bag and roll their hair up in that and bend it over.
Oh, sure.
And boy, they looked like they was curly, all right.
Yeah.
But
Boy.
but everybody wore it,
Yeah,
so that's what they were
That's
used
right.
to.
That's what they used to. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody, that's what everybody looked like, you
Yeah.
know.
Yes, that's true.
And you think, well, of course, now, I'm a hairdresser, and we learned where to set the rollers. They just kinked her up.
Oh, yeah.
That was it. Just kinked
Oh,
her up.
yeah, my wife was, it didn't take her but just seconds, to roll the hair up on the,
But now I can remember when, because they didn't have the rollers, they didn't have the money. And the young girls would just cut those strips
oh, sure.
and
Yeah.
cover it with paper bag and just twist it up there.
Twist it up
They
there.
had a fro before there was any.
It's true. Yeah.
I'm telling you. Times have changed.
Yeah.
And I know when I went into the beauty shop business, everything was curl.
Oh, yes.
And now they got this iron, they straighten it out.
Yeah. Well,
And we all liked our hair fluffed, and they
Yeah.
want straight.
right.
Flat as a flitter.
Yeah.
Straight. But times change, and,
Oh,
you
yeah.
have to go with
Yeah,
the times.
styles change all the way through.
They do, then you have to
Time
change
to
with
time.
the times. You surely do.
Yeah.
Surely do. I think we're about halfway through. Tom, you ought to cut us to a commercial. Back to Darryl's little corner. I'm here with Mr. Joe Nabors, and I'm sure everybody knows him. We appreciate you staying with us. Well, Joe, tell us about, now, we've gotten into this Christmas season. They start Christmas before Thanksgiving's over.
Oh,
and
yes.
We're well into it now.
Yeah.
Tell us about Christmas when you were a boy.
Well, Christmas wasn't a great big day. Well, I guess we thought it was, but you didn't receive many presents. Nobody had much money in those days. And it was just another good day. We had little fruit, candy and stuff for Christmas there, and a few firecrackers to shoot and stuff like that. But it wasn't a great big celebration.
Well, it wasn't all about the money.
No, it wasn't all about money like now. It's
Yeah,
a
I
lot
could-
different. One item now costs more than
Oh.
my whole family got at that time, I
That's
guess.
right.
Yeah,
That's
they buy items now that cost more than my whole family had.
Mhm.
We
Well-
wasn't hungry, nothing like that, but we just didn't have a lot of money.
Well, back in those days, kids didn't expect so much.
No, you didn't. You didn't expect it.
I mean, like you got a pair of shoes, you wore them,
Yeah.
they wore out, and then you didn't get any
Yeah.
more till there was some
That's
more
right.
money.
You
And-
didn't get a little red wagon over Christmas or a bicycle, nothing like that.
No, well, but you weren't poor because everybody was.
Everybody
Yeah.
more or less was, yeah.
I mean, we never felt that we were poor or did, because everybody was just like us.
Oh, yes.
Nobody had
everybody
anything.
else, yeah. Oh,
You know-
no, we were never hungry or want for food or nothing. We always had plenty.
But we didn't have a lot of stuff.
No.
A lot of stuff.
No, we
like you say,
grew,
red wagons. And,
we grew most of the food we ate. We grew the stuff.
uh-huh.
Yeah, on the farm.
And people were healthier.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. We have what they call a sedentary
Yeah.
lifestyle now. We sit
Yeah.
around on the couch. That's what it is. We sit around the
Yeah.
couch.
And
too
I
much.
guess my family, we were as lucky on health as anybody. None of us back during those times had any serious sickness.
That's good.
Yes.
That's good.
None of us were.
And really, back in those days, there weren't great doctors. You know, they'd come to
Oh,
you.
no,
They'd come
we
to
had,
you. They didn't have all these machines and all this
True.
skill and
Yeah.
learning that
Yeah.
they have now.
Yeah, most of them were just country doctors who went from house to house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes a child would fall and break something and they would die. You know,
Yeah.
self-infection,
True.
they die. Where you never hear of that now.
No,
But you didn't, you know, the medicine wasn't available then.
that's true.
Mhm.
Yeah,
They used a
Yeah.
lot of poultices and,
yeah,
you know, really the mother was about the doctor
Yeah.
for a lot of families.
yeah.
And she just did what she knew to do.
Oh, yes.
And some of
Oh,
them
yeah,
pretty good.
little cuts or bruises, we
You didn't run the
had
doctor
had
every
it
time
on-
you fell.
No.
If you went to the
If
doctor,
we-
something was bad
True.
wrong.
If we didn't have a Band-Aid, we throw off a little piece of cloth or something and wrap
Tied
around
around it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And if something was infected, I think they'd strap a piece of fat meat to it.
Oh, yes, certainly a wasp or something sting you, why, you could do that.
And
Yeah.
draw it out.
Yeah.
And while we're on the wash
And even
stand,
I remember when you cut a little place on your foot or something, you just put a little kerosene on it
uh-huh.
and wrap it up a little.
Well, while we're on the wash thing, I got a little hint for you. I learned a couple of years ago. I got wasp stung, and I don't know, I'd read it somewhere. I put ammonia on that.
Oh, yes.
Household ammonia.
Yes. Mhm.
And it didn't even swell up.
No, that's
I
right.
just couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
It, didn't have any problem with it.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know if it didn't get me good or something, but
Yeah.
that ammonia was from that. I keep a little ammonia at the house for wasp stings down.
Yeah.
Because it works.
Yeah.
And I remember years ago when somebody got cut, my grandmother would put Clorox on it.
Oh, yes,
Oh, my-
that
Oh, it
that
burns.
would
It
clear
burns.
up any
But
germs
it works.
there.
It
Yeah.
works.
Yeah, it'd clear up the germs right quick.
It works. It sounds crazy, but it works.
Yes.
But they, back in those days, you used what you had.
Yes.
You just
Yeah,
used what you
use what you
had.
had, that's right.
And we didn't run to town and get something every time you turn around. In fact, a lot of times the families didn't go to town about once a month.
Oh, that's true. That's,
I mean, they just,
we probably didn't come to Ripley more than twice, 3 times a year. When I was
Really?
13, 14 years old, 15, yeah. We probably didn't come more than 3 times a year
isn't that something?
as a family, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
My dad would have to haul his cotton to Ripley, but, and he'd make a few trips,
But you
not
worked
the
in
whole
cotton
family.
fields? Did you work in cotton fields?
Oh, yes, I
I
picked
know.
cotton, plowed cotton. Yeah, that's all I did from time I was 13 or 14 till I was 17, until I was 17 now.
I looked at it
Yeah.
real close, and it looked like work to me.
It was.
I bet it was.
I was a poor cotton picker. I just couldn't get 200 or 300 pounds a day. Yeah.
But they haul this cotton to a gin.
Oh, yes, yes. Yeah. Each time I got a bale finished, Dad take it to the gym.
How'd you know when you had a bale?
He weighed it up.
Weighed it up.
Yeah, took about 1,200 pounds. Type cotton he planted. Took about 1,200 pounds to make a bale.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So I told you
And
about
they had a gin at Pine Grove at that time,
Oh,
and he had to haul it over there
uh-huh.
to get it gin. That was only a couple of 3 miles.
Now, when they gin it, what do they actually do to it?
Well,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not
they
from
just got all the seed out of it. They
Got
run it
seeds
through the
out.
gin mill, and
Mm-hmm.
it took all the seed out,
Uh-huh.
and they give you your seed back and you bale the cotton.
Well, what do you do with it?
Well, my dad fed a bunch of his to cattle.
Oh, the seeds.
The seed, yeah.
Oh,
And the rest, what he didn't use for that, he just sold them on the market. The Jenner would buy them.
oh,
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah. He'd buy them, yeah.
You folks probably know that because
Yeah.
you're from here. I'm not from here. I didn't know that.
Yes.
I could imagine what you do with the seeds.
Yes, well,
What do they buy them to
they're
sell
very,
for
they're
feed?
very
or-
good for a milk cow to eat.
Oh, oh.
Yeah, real good for that. And so when the Jenner bought them, he sold them to some mill that separated the seed in the center of the seed and the hull. And they made cottonseed meal. They call it cottonseed meal out of the center of it, and they ground it up for feed.
Oh,
Yeah.
well. But you could just feed it to them whole.
Yes. Yeah, you can feed a cow cottonseed as a whole, just right out of the field.
I'd tell my daughter that. She's got a cow. I don't know what they want with one, but she's got one.
Uh-huh.
But
You-
then the cotton, you sell it to somebody else?
you carried it to the market in town here. They had a warehouse down the south end of town at that time where they stored hundreds of bales.
Well,
It was a huge thing down just below Walmart there.
well.
Yeah, where the motel is now, and
Yeah.
and all that. Yeah, well, it was a huge building. It held thousands of bales.
Mm-hmm.
They were shipped on the train when the cotton mill was ordered.
Oh, and they make cloth out of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, make cloth out of the
yeah,
cotton.
they shipped it. Yeah, the warehouse shipped it to the cotton mills.
So really, none of it was wasted, was it?
No waste. No.
Well, that's just neat. Yeah. I sure didn't know that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, there wasn't any waste to the actual bowl of cotton.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the hulls and stalks, were done away with in the field.
Yeah, yeah. Now, they crop dust those crops, did they?
Oh,
then?
yes. No.
How'd you get your leaves and stuff away?
My dad had he made him a sifter, I guess you'd call it, and he sprinkled it on by hand.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
When the boll weevils came along, they had
Acres and acres, you just got. Ooh,
wasn't
this
anybody
is
around Dumas to spray anything. Wasn't no. So
Well,
everybody
probably
had
been expensive,
you had to
too.
devise a way to dust it on. Yeah,
Isn't that neat?
yeah.
Yeah. I bet that was a job,
That was
though.
That was a slow job.
I bet it was.
Yes, you had
Out
to
in the hot
walk every row, you see.
In the hot sun,
Yes,
sound like work when you think
Yeah.
about it.
yeah.
Oh, it was neat
was,
at first, maybe it ain't neat.
It was a slow process.
I bet it
Yes,
was.
yes.
Oh, man, I sure
Yeah.
never heard of that. That is neat. And were the
course.
weevils often? Is that something that happened
Oh,
every
they
year?
usually came every fall.
Oh, man.
Once
That's
they
it.
started.
Uh-huh.
I don't recall the year they started there, but they never done away with them
Uh-huh.
on up through the years. The last experience I had in here, cotton or anything, was about 52 or 3, and they were still coming every year then.
So then you decided to leave the farm, huh?
Yes,
Found out that was work, boy. Decided to
Yes.
go leave the farm. But I tell you what, when you were in the used tire business, that was hard work too.
well, yes,
was hot.
that was quite.
hot.
It was a working job. Not real heavy, but it was very regular, and demanded a little speed too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was hot. It was
And
hot. It wasn't air
It was
conditioned.
hot, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
mean,
it was very hot.
We thought
But
we
I
worked
done
hard.
that. I done that about 12 years.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
We think we work hard in an air-conditioned building. It's think about doing all that work without the air conditioner. It's hard. It was hard, hot work. And you were about the only used tire place, weren't you?
Yeah, only one other at the time, I believe, that was doing any business much. Yeah, one other
Now they're
place.
everywhere.
Yeah.
There's several now.
So
But in those days it
I
was.
had customers from Benton,
Oh, yeah.
Tippah,
Oh, yeah. And,
little part of Union, part of Prentice probably. Okay.
well, when you put those tires on there, you put them back on the same side they come off on.
Most of the time, yeah.
Then
We
it
tried
wasn't bad
yeah,
to-
most of, yeah.
you know-
Steel belted tires always seem to work better if you could do that. So
Because
every time we had a chance, we did put them back on the same side of the car.
And that's important, isn't it?
Yes, it was a little important there because
Because they throw that steel.
yeah, now, it didn't happen every time if you put one on the opposite side, it didn't necessarily go bad every time, but they always thought it was more likely to.
Yeah, well, we thought it. We
Yeah.
thought it. And I hated to go by a tire and then you go down the road and you go, womp, womp, womp,
Yes.
womp.
Well, that happened quite often
It
back
did.
in those days
It
with
did.
steel belted tires. Now, that's kind of a thing of the past. It still happens right now, but they have improved manufacturing there so much that don't happen very often now.
That's good.
The tread, you wear the tread down real low without it doing that.
And now this man was in the business 12 years. Tell him how to know when you need a tire.
Well, any time you get down close to an eighth of an inch of tread, you've almost gone too far. Yeah, you need an old measuring thing was a Lincoln penny. If it didn't cover his whole head, you was time for a tire.
Well, you
stick
got
the-
that.
That was no rule we all went by there. Really, you're supposed, but now I have seen people come in that didn't have any tread at all on them, and they are still running the tire.
But it's dangerous.
But
isn't it?
that is dangerous there.
Dangerous.
Yeah. You don't have any stopping power, and it's likely to blow any time when you get that tread wore down slick. Well, yeah, and it's certainly dangerous driving.
It is, and especially if it's winter time and ice on the road.
Oh yes.
Or mud, raining,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's dangerous.
And but your worst part is in hot summertime. That's when
Really?
they're more likely to blow.
Oh, I never
And,
thought
yeah.
that.
It gets
Ladies,
so
y'all
hot.
remember that. Take a penny out there and stick it in the tread, and if you can't see his head, is that right?
If you can still see his head, you're kind of safe. But if you can't see the whole head, you're getting low.
Okay, if
Yeah.
you can't, if it doesn't cover his whole head.
That's right.
If the
it doesn't
tread
cover
doesn't
his
cover his whole head,
That is an old saying
time to
there
look for
that
another tire.
whether it worked every time or not,
Well,
I know it didn't
safe and
because
sound.
I had too many that came in that didn't have an eighth of an inch left.
But you know, us ladies, when we get out and drive, and a lot of us don't have a man to take care of us, and you want to be safe. You want to be
Oh,
safe.
yeah.
You don't want to be out on the side of the road with a
Yes.
blow tire. So if you can't see that head if you can see the head on the penny,
Yeah,
then you know.
you're fairly well safe. You
pushing
can
it,
still
yeah.
see part of the head.
Yeah, if you
But,
keep I mean, that's just how it is. That's just how it is. You just gotta, if you don't keep good tires, it's just,
Yeah.
you're just playing with your life. Now, you really are.
Yeah. And
Really
anytime you get feeling a vibration from the wheels, you may know you've got a tire going bad.
Yeah, something wrong.
Something wrong there.
Something wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, if your car shimmies down the road,
Yeah.
mine
Now, of
when
course,
it's
now
cold.
they don't have to be bad, all wore out necessarily to do that sometime. I've seen quite a few go bad with a real good tread on them. But that's probably due to hitting a heavy bump in the road or railroad track crossing or something like that. Lots of time will damage the tire.
Sometimes it's because we don't drive the best.
Yeah. Well, we don't drive careful
I
enough
know I'm
sometimes.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it
that's
just,
right.
we get in too big a hurry and get other things on our mind.
Yes,
And then sometimes these roads just need patching and we can't miss them holes.
yes, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, that's occasionally you just hit a hole before you see it.
Yeah, sometimes you just can't help it. Just time can't help it. But you know, it's amazing the way things have changed. Like you say, just the manufacturing of them is so much better.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
much
yeah. Manufacturing is a lot better than it was back when they first came out with steel belted tires.
Well, you've come a long way from riding on a wagon and walking to school, haven't you?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. I'd hate to have to go
Yeah.
through that again. Have you ever thought about what your parents went through? I thought
Oh,
about
yes,
what
I think about that a lot.
they didn't have these things that we enjoy.
My dad never owned a car. '73, I believe, when he died, and he never owned a tractor or a car, either one.
Oh, bless his
he
heart.
was. He had his mules, and of course, he didn't do any heavy farming after he got 68 or 9 years old. Anyway, he had reduced his farming down to a minimum, and but he never owned. He just hired tractor work done.
Well, I tell you,
But he never took a notion to buy one and never owned a car.
isn't it something? But you think about them having to get out, and could you imagine now in the wintertime having to get out and lug that wood in to build a fire? And
I've done that many times.
I
Yeah.
have to get up in the morning and try to get that fire going, and
Oh,
it
yes.
won't go, and you're freezing to death,
Yeah.
and break the ice on the bucket of water.
Yes.
Oh, I'm telling you.
It
And
was bad days. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
And our parents, that was their way of life.
Oh yes,
it was all
that
they
just came
had.
along. Yeah.
All their lives. And
Yeah.
when you're young, you don't think about it. But as you get older, you know, it gets cold and
Yes.
you find every bone you own. And,
Yeah.
you know, you know, that had to be hard on those people.
True.
It really did.
Yeah.
And I know that I truly believe because they worked so hard that they were so much healthier than we are.
Well, true.
You're not counted. I don't know what happened
Yeah.
to you.
Well,
You're an exception.
Well,
But you've worked hard in your life.
I've done a little hard work, but not as hard as some people. But anyway, there through the years there, it you know, it is all common labor. Yeah, but yeah.
But you've done well, and you've and 92 healthy years.
Yes,
I mean,
all right,
whew,
yeah,
that's pretty
been
good.
Very good.
It's pretty good. Pretty
Very good. Yes.
Yeah. Not everybody sees 92, but they
Yeah.
don't usually know they're seeing it. So
yeah.
you're doing great.
I think really, some people really eat more than they should. I've never tried to overeat.
Never had a
No,
never had a weight
never
problem.
Had no,
Yeah,
never had a
that
weight
is
problem.
now. I have a
And
weight
I-
problem. It's terrible.
I just never was that big a eater. Yeah.
And I do believe that the people with a weight problem don't
Yes,
live
yes.
as healthy, and they don't live as long. And I have a weight problem, so you know I've done a lot of reading on it.
And I was never a choicy eater. I just always eat whatever we had, or whatever the cafe
You just
had
didn't
that I
care to have
wanted.
a lot.
That's what I eat. I just didn't. I didn't have to have, say, meat every day. It didn't
Yeah.
bother me a bit. In fact, I enjoy vegetables more so than I do meat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, we're into a new society. We're into junk food.
Yeah. Oh, yes, junk
you know,
food
that's
now,
bad.
and I've never. Those people would starve to death if they depended on me to eat, even the candy. When I didn't eat that much candy when I was selling candy.
Well, that's
Right.
probably why you're so much healthier than we are.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
And potato chips, I eat very few of them. Yeah, stuff, fast foods like that. Very, very little of it.
Well, it's not. You're
I-
truly
I-
right. It's
I
not
don't
healthy.
drink.
not
I
healthy.
drink 1 cup of coffee a day, and most of my drinking is water. The soft drinks, maybe 1 or 2 a week. Yeah, as much as I ever drink. Yeah, it's.
Well, it's a healthier lifestyle, I tell you that.
Yeah.
You've done well.
And all that whiskey I seen when I was in the sheriff's office and what have you, I never been drunk in my life. I never.
That's great.
I tasted
great.
some of it just to see why people drank it.
I try to figure out what they want that
but,
stuff. It looks nasty.
I couldn't figure out what the world they want to get drunk on.
Don't know. Don't know. It looks nasty to me. Never was a drinker.
Yeah.
No.
Me, I've made it 92 years without getting drunk.
Tried. I never was a gambler. I just can't see what people get out of putting their money in this machine and pull the handle and saying goodbye to it.
Yeah, well,
don't get
I've done a little of that, but it wasn't no money.
Just don't
Wasn't no
get it.
money making proposition for me, so
No.
I just never.
Well, you know
I just
those
don't
people.
fool with it anymore.
Those people are not in business to give you money.
That's right.
I mean, get real.
They're there to make money.
No, I never was a drinker and I never was a gambler.
Yeah.
No, I always worked hard for my money like you did. When I spend it, I want something to take home with me. I don't want to, I just don't want to say goodbye to it and let you.
Like one of my wife's friend there, she said when she carried a sack home, she wanted something in it.
That's right.
She said, "So you ain't going out and spend their money." She said, "If I'm going to buy something, I want a sack carried home in it."
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
that's,
I sure do.
That's
I
a very
want
good rule to stay with.
And now I want to feel like I got my money's worth, but
Oh, yes,
sometimes I don't.
yes. Yes,
I don't want to just spend my money foolishly.
that's right. Yeah.
Oh, it's just a different, a different lifestyle. And,
Oh,
and I do
absolutely.
believe that's the reason that you've done so well and you're healthy. You still work a little bit, don't you?
Wee bit, not a whole lot. I do a little driving for people, and I still take care of my yard. And
You do
I have had
your
a
own yard?
Yeah, oh yes, still take care of more in my yard, and I've had a little old garden last year or two, but it's not very good either. I don't get enough rain.
At 92.
Yeah, I didn't get enough rain to have a good garden.
92 years old, still gardening and doing his own yard and working a little bit. That's
Yeah, little
that's-
stuff
that's
to do
law.
around. I own
Yeah.
some real estate, and you try to keep it kind of cleaned up where it's presentable. And
well. I'll tell you what, that's a job.
oh yes, yeah, I can find something to do every day, really. Yeah.
Oh,
As far as
that's
that,
a job. That's
I don't necessarily do it every day, but if I feel up to it, I try to do a little something every day.
and I do. I believe that's a healthy lifestyle.
Yes, I think
really
it helps
do.
you along. Yeah,
But the Lord's just blessed you.
He surely has.
He
Yeah,
has just
I-
blessed you. 92 years. Oh, and this is that's wonderful. It's just wonderful.
Not a lot of us make it that high.
No, and
No.
and you I mean, you live a comfortable life.
Yeah, and be
Comfortable
comfortable
life.
there. Yes, I see so many people around that's much younger than I am that can hardly get along.
That's right, that's right. It kind of
course,
makes you,
I don't do any long distance walking or nothing, but I can walk to any place I likely want to go.
that's
Yeah.
good, that's good.
Yeah.
Comfortable life,
Yeah,
that's wonderful.
and I'm still driving, and I've had good luck on that. No accidents.
Yeah, it is, that is wonderful. Can't all say that. I tell you.
So I tell them that I probably did take an oath to quit driving when I get 100.
Get 100, get 100, well,
Yeah.
I believe you'll get there.
Well,
I really do. You're doing great.
that we, of course, we never know, but
But you,
I hope to make it.
but whatever the Lord's got for us, you've
Whatever
had a
He's
good
got
life.
for me, I appreciate.
And you've had a good life, you really
Yes,
have.
very good.
Is there anything that you would like to do in life that you have not done?
Well, yeah, I guess but I don't know of a whole lot of change under the circumstances, but I would, if I'd had enough time and money at the right time, I would have probably done more building than I've done.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But
Me and my wife enjoyed doing that when we were both working. We'd, of course, I hired all the work done. We kind of enjoyed building another house.
Uh-huh. You
And
just
I-
live in it?
If I'd have had
and
it, oh yes,
Yeah.
we'd live in it a few months, sometime a year. Maybe, I guess, 2 years the most we lived in
Uh-huh.
any one house
sell
we
it
had.
move.
Yeah. Maybe 3 on one house. Yeah.
Well, you did well.
Yes.
You've done well. You really have.
Yes.
And,
It was-
and God's blessed you with 92 years.
Yes.
Isn't that
That's
wonderful?
right.
Wonderful. Well, Joe, time is just moving up on us. I think we're pretty close to time.
Well, and
And-
well, thank you a lot for having me.
Took time to come
Well-
down here. Your friends that you might not remember, but they remember you.
I meet people every day that know me, and it's hard for me to remember their names.
But I know they've enjoyed seeing you.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed this
So
hour together.
I'm sure a bunch of them will recognize.
Bet they will.
Yeah.
I bet they will. And be so glad to hear from you. You know,
Yes.
sometimes our friends get away from us.
Oh, yes.
And you think, well, wonder what happened to
Yeah.
so and so. But what
Yeah.
it is, we're retired and we're not
Yes.
out in the
I
each other
think
like we used
sometimes
to.
we just, we don't take enough time to, really to visit some of the people we
That's
know.
right. That's
We
right.
just don't get around to it for some reason or other. We let it pass on by.
Mhm.
Uh,
We don't keep up with them like we mean to.
Yes.
We really mean to, but we
Yeah.
don't always get it done. But we,
You know,
we
I
really,
don't know how many people live in Tippah County now that voted for me in 1952. I would say it's very low. Yeah. I'd want to estimate less than 1,000 people probably living that voted for me in 1952.
I think you're probably right.
Yeah.
You're probably right. Probably a good bit less than
Yeah.
1,000. But that's something to think about.
Yeah.
I'd say very
Yeah.
less than 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we've enjoyed this, Joe. We'll have
Well,
to do it
thank
again
you.
sometime.
Yeah,
This-
I'm glad to
Oh.
come down. Maybe somebody will renew some memories or so
I
forth.
believe it will. Believe it will.
Yeah.
And we've enjoyed this hour together. Don't forget the Jeter Family Program, Saturday night at 7. Y'all stay tuned now for Ron and Dave's Gospel Hour. I do hope you'll tune us again next Monday at 7 for Darryl's Little Corner. May God bless.